Well, hello all. I am here today to share with you my ethics in the real world project for ET501. For my real world project, I was blessed to encounter and interact with Providence Crystal Ray College and Career Preparatory High School, which, from my purview, was not an obvious place to serve as a nonprofit steeped in social justice issues as they pertain to our course ET501. But I'm so glad that someone I know pointed me in this direction and that I was enriched and even encouraged by the experience. I hope you will be encouraged also. Here's what makes Providence so unique and what I hope that you, my fellow group members, along with our professor, will deem appropriate as a nonprofit institution in alignment with our project that is due this week. Providence Crystal Ray as a school is a unique model for education, which was initiated in 1995 at the behest of a Catholic priest who was concerned about the welfare of at-risk youth in the distressed community of Pillsbury in Chicago, Illinois. With failing public schools, rampaging crime, and a shroud of hopelessness enveloping the community, the priest wanted to do something by way of offering to youngsters a private Christian Catholic-oriented education. Of course, the prospect of doing this met up against the huge economic lack for most families who lived in that community. And of course, that meant that they were not able to afford this private Christian Catholic oriented education. Long story short, an act of God, I believe, and innovation intervened. The priest hired a consultant who came up with a model that, starting in downtown Chicago, would entail corporate work study, having intentional collision with distressed and impoverished urban neighborhoods in America. And miraculously, this model would eventually produce 39 schools in various urban centers. I love the way the vice president of the local school in Indianapolis, Indiana, Frederick Gakey, whom I interviewed, framed it in colloquial language, expressing how the core mission of this school was to show kids what a legal drug dealer looks like as juxtaposed to the other. Wow, I just thought that was some good stuff. That is, he wanted to offer them another pathway to success, or should I say, Providence Crystal Ray wanted to offer these young people in distressed communities another pathway to success outside of crime or even sports or music, which far too often are stereotypically the only roadways to success, both within and without communities of color. That's the stereotype. This is how you want to get out of the hood. This is how you do it. What I love about this model, every student goes to work 1 day a week in corporate America. That's regardless of whether they're a freshman, sophomore, junior, and or senior. The model of the school acknowledges the social inequities embedded in American culture and does something both spiritually and tangibly about it through partnerships with corporate America. The $17,000 tuition, listen to this because I think it's very innovative. The $17,000 tuition, which the average student cannot afford, is provided for by one corporate sponsorship via a job for each youngster, resulting in $6,800 per year being paid by the corporate partner directly to the school. And this, coupled with choice vouchers and scholarship granting donations, results in the full cost of a child's education being funded debt-free. Intertwined with all of this is a quality education in a Christian-based, multicultural, innovative environment. I encourage all of you, my fellow classmates and group members, for added clarity, to visit Providence's well-developed website at www.ChristolReyindy.org. I'll try to post that as well so you can catch that. In examining Providence Crystal Ray, there are several key method elements for kingdom ethics as given to us by Gushy and Stassen that are at work in this operation. First, let me say Providence as a school resides on the three pillars of love, mercy, and justice. And these are the foundational principles as given to the school by its sponsor, the Sisters of Providence of St. Mary of the Woods, Indiana, which is a congregation of Roman Catholic women religious who minister throughout the United States, Taiwan, and China. There are two kingdom method elements specifically that I see at work here, and namely methods 1 and 2. Method 1, as you know, is thinking in concrete kingdom terms. The founders and staff of Providence have found an ethical stance, which has resulted in an institution that promotes deliverance, peace, justice, healing, inclusion in community, joy, and God's presence. Students in the program must take a theology course geared to a social justice emphasis. A student life coordinator oversees volunteerism and service. And embedded in this, I see the marks of sustainability, generational sustainability. Corporate partners who retarget both funds and training for those most in need display what I believe to be an outworking of kingdom method element number 2, reading Jesus from the underside of history. That is, they demonstrate by action and partnership Jesus' preference for the poor and advance justice for the children of a disinherited community by providing them with a door to a better, sustainable life. Training in and exemplification of kingdom principles as they relate to issues of social justice are what I see demonstrated at Providence Crystal Ray. I am so impressed that I plan to have a follow-up meeting with the vice president to see what the church I pastor can do to help, along with getting the word out to some of my ministerial colleagues. Finally, let me say, they persevered through the pandemic, making the needed adjustments with Mr. Yakey, the vice president, serving during a period of the pandemic as the interim leader of the entire operation. And so they came out of COVID-19, or as we hopefully are getting to the end of COVID-19, they are survived and doing well by the grace of God. They need our prayers for the continued favor of God. Thanks for listening. I'm a little bit over. See you later.